Before we get into today's podcast, I'd like to give a shout out to a company that we partnered with called Streamers Merch. They have these amazingly soft hoodies that I'm actually currently wearing, along with other apparel. They've partnered with not only T and Moths, but there is apparel on there from other streamers as well. And like I said, this is an amazingly soft and light hoodie. I've been loving ever since I got mine. So if you would want to check any of that out, head over to streamersmerch.com. Thank you.
It's weird. This is weird. We got four of us in here. It's throwing me off. I'm so used to seeing myself in the top right corner. But welcome back. Welcome back. Another episode of the T and Moss podcast. If you can't already tell, if you're listening to the audio instead of watching the video, we have a fourth member with us today. Today is going to be our first time recording with a guest. We're just going to try to use our small platform that we do have to help promote our friends that we've met through content creation. So if you're hearing this, I'm Moss Bros, and we have P. You wanna introduce yourself? Yeah, I guess you can wave. JRinkz, and then our guest for today, someone that I've met this year. He's big on sports games. He's kind of a variety streamer, but he generally just plays whatever he wants to have fun with. He does this for fun, and he's one of the nicest, sweetest guys I've kind of met doing this year. CJF08 on Twitch, and similar on every platform. If you want to do a little introduction to yourself, and
Hi. Yeah, I mean, just CJF08 on Twitch. Like I said, like Moss says, we usually play sports games, mainly MLB The Show, but we like to kind of mix it up with all kinds of first-person shooters, and got a new game called Riders of the Republic we're having a lot of fun with. So pretty much anything and everything, but the main game is usually sports and MLB The Show.
Yeah. Along with the rest of us, he is also part of Streamers Merch. So if you like what you hear today and are interested in any of his merchandise, you can go check it out on there when you're browsing for whether it's podcast merch, JRinkz's merch, T's merch, my merch. It's all on there. I think we just, unless you got anything you want to touch on before we hop into some questions there, T or JRinkz.
Got nothing.
No. And that's a very beautiful intro. Beautiful voice. That's all I got for now. I have questions later, but
Perfect. Well, CJ, we're gonna dive into your origin story. That's what we've been calling all the other ones, sort of like we were superheroes. So
All right.
I'm gonna try to just start simple. Kind of what got you into gaming?
I don't know. It all started when I was little, obviously. I'm an old man. I'm 34. I'm not like all these other young guys, but I started on Nintendo. And then, I mean, after that, kind of just toboggan. We just really enjoyed. I was big into sports growing up. So, I mean, gaming was limited, but it was always in my free time. That's what we were doing when we were playing sports. So we started with Nintendo. I went to Sega. We had all like the handhelds, Game Boys, all that stuff. And we just always really loved it. Once we got older, we kind of switched into the Sony universe, and we've been with Sony and PlayStation ever since. But I mean, we pretty much, any video game or system that ever came out, we've always had to have and always played, and just always really enjoyed it. Just kind of a little escape and get into a little bit of a fantasy world.
Any of those games, the old school games you remember, just the nostalgia, that kind of your first favorite game back then, one that you fell in love with, or?
I mean, I guess you'd have to say probably Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda. I don't really have much of a choice there. Those are just awesome games, but yeah, I mean, I remember always playing Super Mario, and there was no capture cards or memory or nothing like that, so you'd have to leave it on pause. And you leave the house for like 10, 12 hours, and you come back and just pray to God that it was still on, because if not, you got to start all over again.
Yeah, true.
was it what's Zelda?
Just the original Legend of Zelda, the very first one. We messed around too. I mean, obviously, one's on N64 and stuff. That was actually probably my favorite one, because it was like groundbreaking
Mhm.
when they, you know what I mean? Because you always had a Nintendo, and I remember that. And you got to ride a horse and stuff. That was
Yeah,
pretty
Ocarina
exciting.
of Time.
Yep.
Yeah, I played that one a lot growing up. Very fun.
Oh yeah.
See, I had the 64. I never dove into the Zelda game. I stuck more with the Super Smash Bros. Or the Mario or the Pokemon games on there. So
I was listening to Spotify the other day, and a little remix came on of like a little song you play on the flute. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and you gotta press the little buttons in the corner there, the yellow buttons.
C buttons.
Play the
Yep.
flute.
The original D-pad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Which it was on the right side, which now everything is on the left
Yes.
side.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So much different. But let's see. Do you remember what your first gamer tag was? The backstory behind how you got the name.
I mean, I think the one and only one we've really had, because it was with the PlayStation 2. That's when we first kind of went online, and it was CJF08. It's always been CJF08. It was when we got our PlayStation 2, and we were excited, and or it might have been PlayStation 3. It was either PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3. I want to say it was PlayStation 2, because we got it in 08. And I was just like, my name's CJF, and we just added the 08 to it. People always ask me, and I'm like, I mean, and now people know me and stuff, and we thought of changing it. I mean, I'm glad it was nothing like crazy, like Big Booty Bastard or something like funky. You know what I mean?
Poland
Like,
Crusader, something along
yeah,
those
it always kind of worked. So, and then especially with like socials and other stuff, not a lot of people have that, so it's worked out.
Yeah, I think it's kind of nice then too when people are calling you CJ. It's your name. Then
Right, yeah.
makes it easy for you.
You know, I mean, it is cool. I like a lot of people's gamer tags, and I get kind of jealous sometimes because, you know, they have like a little alter ego, almost like a superhero. And, you know, it kind of keeps your personal life and stuff separate. But obviously with streaming, it's all out there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It makes it actually more helpful.
I would agree with that. So you kind of mentioned your favorite game growing up being the like Legend of Zelda or Mario. Do you have a favorite current game?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say MLB is my favorite game. I mean, it always, it's my favorite sports game, and it's the game that I most play. But I do really enjoy like the games that I'm like Steep and Skate and stuff like that. And like I said, Steep's new game, Riders of the Republic. It's not really as competitive. You can be competitive in it, but you can also be just, I mean, the map is just so large. There's always stuff to do, and you can always just keep doing stuff, and it's just very enjoyable. You know what I mean? So kind of games like that, I guess, like a Steep and a Skate, like an open kind of world, like fantasy kind of adventure type skateboarding, or not adventure,
Extreme
action sports
Yeah.
types. Yeah.
Those are always great games to just literally kick back. Like,
Right. And I mean, they just update it. I mean, they usually come out, like Steep came out, I think in 16, and they just kept updating it, and there's like more and more stuff you can do. And then until obviously they made this new game, which I was pretty excited about.
it was a
I've
huge
been watching
step
you
up.
play it a lot, and it's a very fun game to watch. It's
Yeah.
very like especially like if I'm doing other things where I have you muted and stuff, I can just watch and like it's not distracting. I don't need to be involved to just enjoy you like going down the path, hitting tricks and stuff. So it's
Right. It's one of the that and Steep, they're like the most frustrating but rewarding games, because like I try to be a perfectionist in like kind of games like that where you have to get certain times, you have to do stuff. So I might reset that race like 100 times, and you want to freak out, but it's so rewarding when you finally, you know, get it, and stuff like that, or like baseball or something like that. You can't really like keep going back and, you know, trying stuff over and over and over again, you know.
All right. The next question I can have is more relates to your content creation now. What got you into it, and kind of give us a little background on your starting off of content creation?
Moths Bros 24. No, that's pretty much what happened though. I mean, we had like I started streaming probably like 2 or 3 years ago. We didn't really like devote our time until we got a PC. Like we just stream like once a month and be with the PlayStation camera, and it just looked awful. And I just kept watching people and seeing what they did and stuff, and I'd be like, man, it'd be cool to do that. You know, with kids and stuff, it's hard, but we've made time. And once we got our PC in March, and then we went over, it was actually you, Moss, that got me into it, because I actually deleted my whole YouTube, all this like crap that I kind of had in there. You and Taco kind of helped me out with thumbnails and stuff like that, and you know, we started editing and doing some stuff that we really enjoyed, that we wanted to do, just like you watching other people do it. It was pretty cool. I say one of the biggest things was TikTok, which I said I would never get, and Twitter, which I said I would never get, but Moss talked me into it, and now I'm addicted to TikTok. It's a lot of fun, and it really started to like kind of blow up, just from the aspect of, if you put in the work and you're putting out 2 to 3 videos a day, I mean, they don't have to be great things, but it's strictly on what I do. So it's just my gameplay. Every once in a while we'll have a fun one of just ourselves, but you know, just getting that stuff out there, and we just have so much fun doing it, honestly. Like, I laugh making them, I laugh editing stuff, and to get feedback from other people and bring people into your stream that normally wouldn't be watching you because you're offline. Now they can see you, especially like with YouTube or YouTube Shorts. You're on there all the time. So, I mean, randomly clicking through and stuff. It's been very, very good and very enjoyable. I've had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you for helping me.
See, now you need to help me push these other two to use them more. JRinkz has been posting a lot more, and I like it. And I think he's been seeing that he's getting views on them because he's posting more. And then there's T.
I mean,
I have planned to, and then I just never get to it.
I mean, it is a lot of work, and I mean, it's, as far as like YouTubes and stuff like that, you have to have the content, and that's why I always kind of get frustrated, because I only have like 2 full YouTube videos that were like an hour long. We whittled them down to like 10 minutes, I think like 7 minutes. That's a lot of fun to do, but like as far as TikToks, it's still a lot of work, because you have to fucking take them. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this, but you got to take them, and then you put them into like a separate thing that kind of whittles them down to be on your phone, then send them your phone. So, I mean, it is, and like just starting out, it's kind of like, man, I'm putting in these 2 to 3 videos every day, and it's like 1 view, 20 views, you know what I mean? And then just keep doing it. And then like, I think like last month we started, you know, we're averaging like 1,000 views on videos. Every time you click on it, there's like 5 or 10 more followers you have, and it's just kind of cool once it kind of gets out there. But it's definitely hard to not see the results, and you know, keep putting in the work every day. And even though it doesn't take that long, it's like I tell Moss all the time, I'll stop streaming at 10 o'clock. Next thing you know, you're watching streams, you're editing stuff, and it's 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I mean, it definitely does take a little bit of effort, but it's totally worth it in my eyes.
That's kind of why I push you to do it, because especially you're very, very consistent when you stream, and you're streaming all the time, so it helps grow and get new faces in there and just people to chat with, because Twitch is so hard to be discovered on, that if you're able to use one of those platforms that are a lot easier to be discovered on, it's beneficial a lot. And I guarantee, I know you've seen the growth in that, and I know I have too. That's why I'm trying to, every person that does it, I'm like, you just got to do it. If you want to grow on Twitch, if you want to grow on any other streaming platform, you have to be posting these clips elsewhere so people can find you.
Especially with the growth like now, because I mean, you're posting videos of, you know, a game that's pretty much dead right now until 22 comes out. So I mean, seeing support and stuff like that now compared to when the game first comes out. So if you're already getting that followership and stuff like that, then I mean, they're really gonna explode. And the coolest thing I like about the TikTok is, I mean, there's a lot of kids out there and whatever, it's fine, but it's cool. You get to see other people's stuff too, because not only, it's like Twitch, you know, but they're just discoverability. You're just scrolling through, and they're only like 10-15 seconds, but you're like, man, this guy's really funny, or it's really good. And you kind of learn things from other people too, just like Twitch. So
I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess the next question in relations to content creation is, what are your future plans, if you have any, for content creations? Like, obviously you want to grow and whatnot. Do you have any plans for the future, of things you'd like to do?
I mean, I have lots of plans, but I mean, work and kids and the wife, you know, that kind of, they always come first. But I mean, I have plenty of ideas of what I would like to do, but I guess the main thing would just be keep growing, keep trying to put out videos. I really, like I said, I really enjoy making those YouTube videos. I mean, we always have our YouTube shorts, but I mean, there's times like I only have the 2 videos up, and I had other ones, but just making the thumbnails and doing stuff like that's so much fun. So I would guess just making more longer YouTube videos that were maybe like an hour long, whittle them down to like 15-20 minutes, because it's just so much fun to do. And usually people like to see it. I mean, it sounds dumb, but I could put out a great YouTube video with no thumbnail or nothing, and then all of a sudden they see the thumbnail or they see something, and it makes it more clickable and people want to do it. So I guess getting more YouTube videos out, it's just really enjoyable to do. A lot of fun cutting stuff out and making different things. And the best part about it is the bloopers, because I'll do I always like set stuff up in my head, and my wife makes fun of me because I was like, when I was doing my channel trailer for Twitch and stuff like that, I did it like probably like 50 times in the shower, and then I was like going over with her, and then I went to record it, and I kept messing up, and I was like, damn it, and like stuff like that, and I took them all together and mashed them all together and made another video of that for clips and stuff like that, which was kind of funny. But yeah, the little, I guess, is just try to work on making more of those longer YouTube videos. But like I said, it's hard with content because you want to put out the best stuff. Like anybody can make a YouTube video anytime, but it's like certain times, especially with sports games, it's hard because it's like you're either giving somebody the business or they're giving you the business. There's not many times where you got these like really close, wild games and stuff like that. So
fair. JRinkz, you guys got anything you wanna?
Yeah. What was your favorite sports game growing up? Like, could be for any kind of sport, just one that you just were like when you first got into sports.
I guess at a very young age, it's always been hockey. We really liked hockey for a while. Then when we got a little older, like middle school, high school, we got very big into Madden. And then back to hockey again when we were kind of in college. And now it's been baseball. So pretty much all three sports, but hockey's always usually pretty much the main one. Madden we were super into for a while, but it just got too out of control for me with microtransactions, all that other stuff. I liked when they just had you pick two teams and that was it, just the head-to-head versus and stuff like that. And I really enjoy Ultimate Teams, but I mean, it's just getting a little out of control in my eyes.
Yeah.
Some people love it.
I agree. I love Ultimate Teams. It's just too hard to keep up on multiple games without spending money.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is like
Go
you
ahead.
could spend a bunch of money on one game and then a year later the other one's coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
Gone.
It's just
It's gone.
and it's a great business move by them because people always pay and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
That's why I love Diamond Dynasty for baseball, because it's one of probably the only sports game where you can be at the same level and have the same cards that somebody else has that day. I mean, it might take you another hour or two, but you're going to have that exact same card as long as you grind and you flip your cards and stuff like that. Where with EA, you can't really, with the market and stuff, you can't really do that.
They tax the hell out of you for gold.
Yeah. I think FIFA was the one that, I could be wrong, but I want to say FIFA is the first one that started Ultimate, but I could be off on that.
I would not know.
Yeah, I think it would be Madden or FIFA, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely one of the EA games. Yeah, I know.
Yes. And then they all branched off
And
together.
then everyone's like, "Well, that's genius.
That's a great idea.
Mhm.
Now we can make money off that too.
Yeah.
Did you play any sports growing up?
Yes, I was actually, well,
That's actually
now we're a
being
fat
sexy.
old man, but I was a big wrestler. I wrestled. I played baseball, football, everything, but once we kind of got in the high school ranks and stuff like that, I wrestled. I wrestled like 3 times a day. I traveled the country. I went all over. I've been to a lot of places and done a lot of stuff. So wrestling was our big sport, but baseball was probably our always most enjoyable sport. I would guess. We just didn't have the talent like we did in wrestling. So
Fair.
Where are some places you got to travel?
I wrestled in Russia. I wrestled in Puerto Rico. I wrestled all of the United States besides Alaska and Hawaii. So pretty much everywhere. I've been everywhere, but before the time I was like 22, and now I'm old and I don't go anywhere. So I just sit in the basement.
I can relate to that besides the traveling part.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though. I mean, I was very blessed to get all those opportunities and stuff like that. But I mean, it's part of life. You kind of move on to the next chapter now, and I know some people like to talk about their past sports and stuff, whether they're good or bad, unless somebody brings it up like this, I don't really talk about it. I mean, I was very blessed to have all that stuff, but I mean, I just don't like to hear, I guess, from other people when they're like, oh, I did this and stuff like that. Because usually a lot of the times, those are the people that were sitting on the bench and they kind of got better as they got older.
I think, yeah, unless you're experienced it with them, most people are generally like, nah.
I don't
But if
care.
it was something where like old teammates talking about stuff,
True.
Yeah.
that's the best because you all lived it together.
Yeah, and yep.
We got asked this a couple weeks ago, but what's your favorite sunflower seed?
Sunflower seed?
Yep.
Wow.
Any kind.
Cracked pepper, if you've ever had that.
Okay.
The Dave sunflower seeds, yeah.
Nice.
What
That's a
about-
good one.
Well, what'd you say again? I can't remember.
Me? Dill pickle.
Yeah. Ah, that's
Ah.
right.
He's a
I knew one of
sicko.
you
Wait,
said
do you
dill
not
pickle,
like
and
dill
I hate
pickle either?
pickles.
Hold on.
Oh,
I hate pickles in general.
Yes.
Same.
That's
yes.
everyone. No. Why am I still
Yes.
alone on this?
All right. This,
We're getting people in here. I know I'm not alone on this.
My wife
It
loves
seems
pickles.
like I'm alone on this.
My wife loves pickles.
That's how it
so she
works.
would be on
You
your
give
side.
See,
her-
these two both hate pickles. You don't.
Same.
bro.
Yeah.
CJ knows the strategy. You find a girl. When you go out to eat, they always give you the extra pickle for your burger, and you're like, I don't want that. So she just takes it.
Exactly.
Perfect.
There
That's
you
the
go.
that's the How I Met Your Mother olive theory. It's the same thing where you
Yeah.
find one of the persons in the relationship likes olives, the other one doesn't. The other one eats them off. It's this. We might have
It
to
makes them
change it to the
feel a
pickle
little
theory.
special.
Pickle theory.
How about I got one. What's something that you wish you knew when you started that you know now?
For streaming?
Yep, for streaming content creation, just some advice that you would have given to someone just starting or yourself if you were just starting.
That's a good one. I would just say it depends on what you want to do when you stream, I guess. Some people go into it for money, and that's fine. I mean, especially if you're younger, it's getting very big now. My personal opinion is like just have somewhat of equipment. You don't need the best equipment, but I guess your equipment to starting. Because like I said, going from that PlayStation camera to just getting a PC and going OBS and just learning everything was immense. I mean, just for me alone to have a nicer camera and stuff like that and see myself crisper or videos crisper was a lot. So I would say equipment. But you don't need to break the bank to start. You know what I mean? You can kind of start small and add on by that. And then also I would just go right to OBS if I was you. I started with Streamlabs. That was actually a great starter because, I mean, it just makes everything so much easier. And if you have no idea, there's still stuff I go in there, I have no idea what anything does. But when you go to OBS, a lot of the stuff that you get for your stream or anything like that, I mean, you can just copy files and just put them right in there. Everything's done for you. So, yeah, I would say equipment and then just, kind of starting right with OBS and don't worry about follows or money or anything like that, and don't do follows for follows. I was big on that when I first started because I was like, oh man, it's all about followership and it's all this and blah blah. You could have 10,000 followers, but I mean, if only 5 of those people are coming to your streams, who cares? You could also have 50 followers, but 50 of those people are in there all the time. So
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of learning your community and stuff like that also. So
basically have fun.
yes, exactly. That's
Just
what
like
it's all about in my eyes.
like what you were told when you were playing sports as a kid. Have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, no, it's about the victory.
Well, and it makes it more enjoyable too. I mean, everybody likes different streamers. Some people like ragers. Like if I would have streamed when I was 20, it would have been a completely different world. But I mean, some people like ragers. Some people like just chill. Some people like people that are drinking. Some people like flashy lights. I mean, the main thing is the way I look at streaming is, and when I first started, I didn't really get that, is you're coming into my house. So I treat it like you're a guest in my house, where before I'd kind of treat it like, well, I mean, they said this and they said that, but I don't want to lose them because they're a follower. I mean, this is just how I run it, but you're coming to my house. So, I mean, treat them and have them treat you like you would want to be treated, because you don't want people coming. I mean, you wouldn't want somebody coming to your house and saying some rude stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't have to be rude back, but I mean, it's a quicker out the door, I guess I'd say.
That's
I like
But
a
yeah.
great way to put it. I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Go on. I'm gonna steal it.
You're literally coming into my house. Like, I am in my house right now.
Well, I kind of stole it a little bit from Nade Shot because I remember watching him, and that's a big thing too, is just watching other streamers. And, you know, he's talking about people that have green screens and whatever, and that's great. And some people's streams look amazing, but he wants to give you a little like personal, like you're coming in my house, like welcome, like make you feel like you're here, like you're hanging out and doing stuff like that. So when you kind of have your own backgrounds, and green screens are really cool. I mean, people do really cool stuff with them, but it is nice to kind of have your own little area and people kind of see a little inside of what's going on with your stream and inside your house, kind of.
Yeah, it really lets people in on. You just feel like you know them a little more, is all, rather than being on a green screen. It's just them in their chair. You actually you get a glimpse into the life.
Yeah,
as I would put it.
I agree with that. The people that use green screens, I have no problem with it if I'm there for their gameplay. If their gameplay, they're the best of the best, and they just have a green screen.
They can do whatever they want. Yeah.
But if I'm more there for like, I want to get to know the person, have there for their personality. I love the background because it just adds. It's showing their personality. Sort of like with you, CJ. You can see all the like. I always have thought your background is amazing. Ever since the first time I came in, I've loved it. It does that exactly. It shows your personality because when you first go into a stream, you know nothing. You don't know anything about
the person. So you kind of see posters.
So like you can already like you come in, say this person comes in and be like, oh, I love Rob Zombie. So then you already have a connection right there with you that someone wouldn't have if they had a green screen. You're gonna know nothing about. That's the other thing I like about you too. Always your graphic T-shirts. It shows a personality thing where you can relate.
It's gotten bad too. Yeah, talking about that, my way. It's kind of funny because we had a camera on the side and we ran the 4:3 camera. You know what I mean? So it was smaller. And then I was like, it'd be cool if I could like open everything up because we have a pretty big basement, like and like you could see more. So then I started I set up like back there. I started put some posters. I got lights. My wife was just laughing and stuff like that. But we've gotten a bunch of good feedback and always positive things from it. And like I said, it's what you enjoy. I think if I was to go in somebody's stream and I saw that, it would attract me. Perfect example yesterday. Cream Verity. I don't know if I said it right. He's a pretty bigger streamer on MLB, and he saw that. And he was like, this looks dope. I mean, just from the background he came, I mean, obviously bigger streamers looking for smaller streamers, but I mean, just kind of sucked him in there, and that was pretty cool. So
my only question is, why Coors Light?
Why Coors Light? My favorite beer is actually Coors Original.
Okay.
The gold cans. Okay. But I mean, it's just, I know people don't know that side either. We have kind of an alter ego with Green Hot and glasses. So if the green hat's on, that means we're going to town. But I mean, just Coors Lights are easy to slam, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. If I'm just like kind of hanging out, then we're drinking some Coors Original or just trying to sip and stuff like that. But yeah, usually the Coors Lights are out to get hammered down and not kind of enjoy, I guess.
I gotcha.
Is Spider-Man your favorite Avenger?
He's not. I actually am a big fan of the Hulk. So, but my son bought me that because he loves Spider-Man. So we had to get that out there.
And I'm assuming, have you seen the new Spider-Man yet?
I have not.
Oh, me either.
I know it came out. I heard it's amazing. One. Yes,
I haven't seen it.
It's very good.
I mean, the whole Marvel universe is pretty amazing. I mean, actually, I'm a DC fan more than a Marvel fan, even though there's only like one DC thing in here. But
see, I was until the movies, so
that's what hurts it. Yeah, I mean, the Marvel movies are just so well done. But yeah, I'm usually a very big Batman and obviously Joker fan is my favorite character of all time.
Which, if I guess there's no way to show it necessarily here, I'll have it in the thumbnail and whatnot. But CJ's logo is the Joker. It's
it was actually
altered and
cool.
Changed colored and whatnot a little bit. So
my buddy actually made it for me and put baseball bats in the back and made made a diamond field and stuff. So it was pretty cool. Did with it. So got lucky with that.
Anything else necessarily more the interview style that you guys have?
Uh, is that like a gingerbread man behind you? Over
No,
your right
is
shoulder?
it?
I can't tell what that is.
Well, that's a
It's a
good
zombie.
part.
It's a zombie.
That's a funny
Looks like a
thing
mummy.
because
It is.
it is a mummy.
Okay,
It was
okay.
actually started. So when this is a good one. So when I first kind of really got into streaming, like we were still using the PlayStation camera, but I was dedicating myself more to baseball and stuff like that. And I was like, I need something for like when you hit home runs. Like now I have the Bing Bong, which I made. Those guys on TikTok didn't make it. I was the first one to use the Bing Bong. So don't let them try to tell you different. We got the videos to prove it. But anyway, so when we hit a home run, I got it on Halloween. I would shake it like this. It actually sings a Thriller song, and you would dance. So like every time I hit a home run, I would always like have it out, and then it just got too much, and I was like sick and tired of grabbing it all the time. So now we just kind of just keep it in the background. But that was like the first kind of like, I guess, niche in the stream where it was like a trademark of something that I did.
Nice.
So we just keep them there for
And
old time's
yes, I
sake.
know it's a mummy, but he literally has a command in his channel that's !zombie, and it says, no,
Yeah.
it's a mummy.
'Cause I gotta ask that all the time.
Oh,
There's something else I was-
and I actually saw where the Bing Bong actually came from. For
Okay.
people in New York. So people apparently have always said that to end their sentences because it references the subway when it closes. It makes the noise Bing Bong.
Bing Bong,
And people
yeah.
would use it to reference just an end of a sentence, like cutting it off, like cutting
Yeah.
off a sentence. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was definitely there. Like I was from New Jersey, so I mean, we've definitely heard it multiple times. We didn't just get it out of nowhere, but it was kind of funny that, because that was kind of the next trademark was from the mummy to Bing Bong, and I'd say like a few different things usually after, and it was just kind of funny to see like that kind of like explode, and it's like, damn, I should have put more videos out or came up with some. I mean, I didn't never said
Literally,
like fuck your life or
it
nothing,
seems
but
like kind of almost like now that people are seeing your videos on TikTok, like you got it from that, which
Right.
When you were saying
you
it so
had
much
been
earlier.
saying it for months and months
well,
and months.
and then you go
now.
on anybody's stream and stuff now. It's
Now-
like in their title, and it's like, what's going on here? So
Mhm.
we'll keep it going after it's dead anyway. So
Yeah, it's definitely having a moment.
I think, that's what I was gonna say. When you were talking about streaming or people getting into streaming too, like I was always kind of nervous. I mean, I'm a very high personality. I don't stop talking, so I mean, I never have a problem. But I mean, it's kind of nerve wracking sometimes if you get a raid or stuff like that. Now, like a year into it, we don't really get nervous anymore. But I think the main thing is, like I think I said before, but people looking at their viewership, I shut it off, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Because whenever you're looking at it, and people can tell too, because it affects how you stream. I guess that's a really big thing. Is I would just shut it off if I was you. Maybe if you get a big grade, you want to see how many people are in there, whatever, you can clip it on real quick. But I mean, just always kind of looking at the ticker, because not only is it affecting in people that are watching you, but it's affecting your gameplay, it's affecting your content, it's affecting everything, because you're so worried about what's going on over there than trying to interact with people. But that was a very big thing too. And people don't really, I mean, in my eyes, I mean, like you said, you were talking about the green screen. Some people go into streams for gameplay. Some people go in for content. But in my eyes, I think it's more of like an 80-20. People are mainly coming to see your personality. They're mainly coming to see how you interact with people. I mean, I'm not saying that people want to come in and see you be terrible at video games, but some people don't even play video games. They're just there for just chatting, and they're doing different stuff, or they're doing watch alongs. I mean, they just come there to hang out because, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, it's just another avenue of meeting people and, you know, getting stuff off your chest. So that's a big thing. Don't worry about your viewership, and worry more about your personality and your content rather than your gameplay. I know that's kind of like counterintuitive because you're playing games and streaming games, but they're there more for your content and your personality in my eyes.
On that, I actually was in a stream the other day. There was like 60 people in there, and the guy was playing Call of Duty Vanguard. He couldn't get a kill to save his life. He looked like he had never played the game before. It looked like if you handed a 2-year-old the controller and was first time playing Call of Duty. And he had 60 people, and the chat was just going, and he was just having a blast. But
Just legendary
could
content.
not. Yeah, people loved it. It sometimes like that. That's how it is. It's you're there for them, and that guy was having the time of his life.
Right, and that's all.
Couldn't
that
get a kill to
matters.
save his life, and he was walking everywhere, and it was
that's
he'd
the thing,
shoot, and
too,
it would
you're
be
good-
like the person would be on his right, he'd be shooting on the left. It was people were loving it. It was
And you'll
Yeah.
have people that come into your stream and they'll be toxic or they'll say you suck and all this other stuff. But I mean, you just keep doing your thing. They're giving you viewership or whatever. I mean, if they get too toxic, you just get rid of them. But I mean, there's going to be more good people that come into your stream than trolls as long as you're giving out the good content. That's what people want to see. I mean, it's sad to say, but some of my best gameplay, nobody's in there. But then when I got a backwards hat and I can't see straight and I'm chugging beers and just fucking laughing and having fun, there's a bunch of people in there and they just love it. So, I mean, everybody loves different stuff. And like I said, never get down and always just try to give out your best personality and have fun. Because people can tell if you're not enjoying playing a game or you're not enjoying, I mean, it's just like life. You know, they don't want to see that. So
It's very easy. Just body, like your facial expression, your body language, like all of that is it's a very easy tell. Like
right.
just
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're not going to get frustrated with a game or you're not going to get down and stuff like that. But it's a matter of like how you keep carrying yourself. So it's like, man, all right, I suck and you're getting frustrated, but all right, we just need one more thing and try to keep it. I mean, sometimes it's really tough. I mean, especially at sports games, it's when you're just getting pummeled, it's hard to keep those positive vibes, but I mean, you just got to keep trying to grind through it and, you know, put a smile on, have fun, because at the end of the day, the only reason you're playing that game is to have fun. I mean, there's people that are going to be, you know, competitive gamers and stuff like that, but I mean, me personally, I'm just not at that level. I'm too old to be at that level. Maybe 14 years ago, but we're not there anymore.
at the end
I
of the
was,
day, you're playing a video game.
I was reading this quote thing that you just reminded me of, and it said kind of about frustration. It said, imagine you're playing tennis, right? And you're serving, and you have a horrible serve. Horrible serve goes over, but it was absolutely terrible. Now, from your perspective, you're like, that was a bad serve. That was horrible serve. I suck. Your opponent's perspective is like, this is the best serve I could ever have, right? And then if you're like the line judge, you're like, is it in or out? Like, you don't care about the serve. But the person who's like, you're down about your serve, well, then your next serve is going to be bad. And then your next serve is going to be bad because you're getting frustrated. So then it just snowballs into this, like, I suck at tennis, I quit. Like, you know, but like, if everyone has different perspectives. But when I read that, I was like, yeah, the other guy's like, yes, I'm going to smack this. Like, let's go, you know? So it's all about kind of your perspective and realizing like, you're not going to, like, this more relates for like competitive games. You're not going to perform all the time. It can happen.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you're bad. Doesn't mean you suck. Doesn't mean you're a bad streamer. But yeah, numbers like fluctuate all the time and stuff like that. So I just thought that was funny. It reminded me of that. I read that like,
oh yeah, that's a good analogy right there. I like that.
Yes, I didn't think about that. And you're the only one inside your head thinking that. No one, people on the outside, odds are they aren't thinking, oh god, that guy sucks, and now this next one's gonna suck because he sucks. That normally isn't the case. So
well, and you kind of, you don't look at yourself either. Like we can compare, like, I don't know. I mean, I say baseball because that's kind of my main game, but you could also compare like maybe an Apex. So like maybe I'm like a Hall of Fame or legend player, so we're like getting close to World Series. I know not everybody understands that. You might be playing bad, but then somebody else
you're
might be
higher
watching
ranked,
you.
about to be the best ranked. There you go.
Somebody else could be watching you. You know what I mean? The same thing with like Apex. You could be a bronze, or you know what I mean, or like a predator. But when somebody's watching you, they might be a lot worse or like a lot better. But the thing I'm trying to say is like, you'll be like, man, I suck and stuff like that. And other people might be watching me like, man, he thinks he sucks. Like, I mean, I wish I could just get to 600s, or I wish I could get to the silver level, and they're sitting at like almost predator or something like that. And it's like, so you don't ever like look into stuff like that either. And that's why I said too, like, kind of just always try to keep those vibes up, because, you know, other people, that might turn other people off that maybe aren't as good at the game. And then they're like, man, he's just kind of negative. I wish I had like half his skill or something like that. You know what I mean?
I've also heard a lot of people on other streams, they're just like, I'm boring. I'm like, I mean, I'm like, I don't want to be in here because you said that. Now I'm,
Right.
like I've definitely left a bunch of streams like that. Like I
Yep.
came in, they were super happy and stuff, and then all of a sudden just like, man, I'm boring. What? All right,
Yep.
I don't know. How do you want me to chat back to that, or like,
Well, and those are important things too. Like when you go into somebody's stream, I mean, it was hard. I mean, I'm lucky to meet guys like you and stuff like that, and have people in Discord now and talk to them. But a lot of it is streaming is talking to yourself
yeah,
all the time, and you kind of seem like you're going crazy, but it works because if somebody's clicking on streams or they're clicking in, that first like 10 to 20 seconds is very important, because if they come in, even if you're having a bad day or whatever, and you're just kind of sitting there, you're not paying attention at all, even though there's nobody in the room, sometimes you kind of just got to talk to yourself and keep going, because if then they see that and they come in and they say hi, they'll want to be there. But if you're just there, you won't even know that they're there. They won't know that you were there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they'll just be gone. So always kind of try to keep upbeat. It is very difficult sometimes. I'd say early on in streaming, that's one of the hardest things, because you're streaming to one person, yourself or somebody else, but always just don't stop talking, I guess. And like you said, keep the content up. Don't be boring. Don't say you're boring. You know what I mean? Think about what you would want to see. I guess that's how I always look at it. Like, that's why I always like checking out other streamers and seeing stuff, what they do. And then I kind of like put my own little spin on it for the most part. And like what I would enjoy, because those are the people that I want to bring in. I don't want to bring people in that might have like crazy followers or whatever. They might give me stuff, but I might not really like their stream. I mean, they could be a great streamer, but it's just not for me. I want to bring people in that, like sports games, that like drinking beers, that like doing, you know what I mean? So just, kind of putting your own little niche on it.
it's just random questions. What do you like horror movies? Just from your shirt, like scary
Yes,
movies?
I'm a big
Favorite
horror
one?
fan. Favorite horror movie of all time? Are we talking like slashers, or it could be anything?
Mention a couple.
Michael Myers is one of my all-time favorites, and Freddy Krueger. I actually have tattoos of them on my arms, but I like all like older horror films, or even the newer ones that came out with Halloween and stuff like that. But just that like Jason kind of deal, where Freddy kind of broke the bank. They kind of like switched it up with him, but all the other ones are just kind of like stalkers. They're chasing somebody through the woods. They like fall down, and like the guy's walking so slow, and then they're behind him. It's just always kind of something that, I mean, anybody thinks of when you're sitting in the woods. You're like, oh man, I hope the boogeyman doesn't come, or something like that. So I guess mainly like slasher films. I like.
This guy, he's like, man, everyone always is like trying to run, but what I learned from watching the Halloween movies is the slower you go, the better. You always catch your target. The slow, it doesn't matter. You're always going to get there. It doesn't matter how far ahead they are. You're always going to catch.
Yeah, and
That was
being
funny.
with the horror stuff, I mean, I've always loved. I'm a big Rob Zombie fan of his music and
Rob
stuff
Zombie,
like that.
great.
Then he kind of got into the. Not a lot of people like his movies and stuff like that, but he kind of got into that thing. So I'm a big fan of his kind of like 31 and House of a Thousand Corpses and stuff like that. I guess those would be my like other favorites. But yeah, some gory stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of going off of your interests and stuff like that. When you have free time, which I know you probably don't have a lot with streaming, having a kid, having a wife, having a full-time job, but in your free time, which if you have any, what generally do you like spending it doing it?
I mean, besides streaming, playing
Wow.
video games, that takes up the free time.
Yeah,
right there.
exactly.
I don't know. I mean, doing sports. I mean, when it's warmer out and stuff like that, activities outside of the house. Just going drinking with the buddies. I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, the main thing in our free time is honestly streaming and video games. It's always been video games. Now kind of streaming took over too. You know what I mean? Added another element to it. But yeah, anything kind of like, I guess, athletic, or I guess I still think I'm athletic, even though I don't really work out like I used to. But yeah, just being active and kind of still games. You know what I mean? Like still playing games, but like
In real
physical
life.
games and stuff like that. Exactly. Yes.
Relate played a lot. The free time becomes not free time when now you do
Yeah,
content
I mean, we
creation.
attempt to golf. I used to be into softball, but I mean, golfing is, my wife's really good, but I just can't figure it out. But it's nice to get out on a nice day, like I said, and just be active and do stuff. But there's always games still involved. It's always competitive.
I relate to that a lot.
I was gonna ask, have you ever tried Dead by Daylight, like the game Dead by Daylight?
I have. I got into Dead by Daylight because I played Friday the 13th, the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They came out with it, and I wish I would have been streaming at that time because I have a few clips that I think they were from the PlayStation. I don't even think I had a PlayStation camera, but I was streaming, and they were some of the funniest shits I ever had because he'd be like hiding in the closet and stuff like that. My other buddy is a big horror fan. He's like, can't just hide in the closet. And then like Jason would come in and I like poop my pants and start screaming and stuff like a little girl. But yeah, I did try Dead by Daylight for a little bit. I was mainly into Friday the 13th. But yeah, that was a very fun game. And they added a lot of characters, unlike Friday the 13th. You know, it's kind of just Jason, but they did a lot of cool stuff with that game. Yeah, we're battling a cold, so sorry for my voice, but we feel better today.
Sound like when you were on yesterday, it kind of sounded like you had just woken up from a nap.
Yeah,
It's kind of what it sounded like. But
yeah, it's a little better today. We took some Theraflu and stuff, so we're good to go.
such as the changing of the weather and starting to get cold, and
Yeah, I mean it's weird. Western New York weather. I mean, I'm sure Minnesota's weird too, but I mean it's like we had a foot of snow and it was 30 degrees. Then yesterday it was 63 degrees. So
yeah, I would
it's
like
kinda
that
all over the
63.
place.
We haven't gotten that.
We got maybe
Yeah.
like
But we have-
45-ish is where we got back up to, but yeah.
Not this week. It's been very cold this week. Very windy.
Yeah.
I like the winter because it's an excuse to stay inside.
Fair.
I
Yeah.
don't feel as like, oh, I should be getting some kind of sunlight here and there.
Yeah.
Nope.
It feels like -2. Okay, I'm staying inside today. I'm not
You
even
go
going
to
to
work,
the
it's
grocery
dark,
store.
you come home, it's dark.
Yep.
Gives me an excuse to stay in, play video games, and watch sports.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can't complain there. Can't complain there.
Unless CJ has anything else you want to.
Yeah, any.
Talk
How about
about-
here?
this is
Anything
your
else
open-
you want to
you
promote?
have the floor.
Plug? You got the floor. All you. Feel
I
free.
mean,
to talk
I
about
guess
promote
there's
you,
there's
everyone.
not too much to plug. I mean, I appreciate you guys letting me come on, especially being your first guest. It does mean a lot to me. I know you guys have fun doing it. I've always kind of wanted to be on a podcast, especially after starting streaming. So I've enjoyed it very much. But I just gotta say thank you to you guys in general. I mean, you guys have really helped me streaming wise and with Discord and stuff. It's been a blessing because I mean it's kind of hard to find people in general when it comes to streaming, but I mean when you kind of have a good group, like I feel we have, you know, probably about 5 to 7 people that are pretty solid, you know, always in there kind of communicating. It's kind of a pretty cool friendship over the last 7 to 8 months that has developed, and I think we've all helped each other out. So I just want to say thank you.
Well, you're welcome. That's kind of something that I've learned from streaming. The best way to grow in streaming, have more fun, and just all around be better is make more friends that also stream.
Right.
Yeah.
It's game changing. It makes the process easier, the motivation of others easier. Plus, then you're always going to have someone else there watching because they want to be watching you while you're watching them when you're not streaming. The support goes
Right.
around because as one go, you all go type of thing. So it
Helps you learn new things, and I mean you're like, man, how'd you do that? Or oh, that's cool. Can you show me where you got that from? Or I'd like to do something similar. So I mean, yeah, just kind of firing ideas off each other too, or like, should I try this? I know you've been streaming longer, or this, or have you seen this before? So it just helps everything out, honestly. But it makes it a lot more enjoyable to stream. I mean, I know some people don't like it because it's kind of chaos. You know, when we got like 3 or 4 people in there, we're all streaming at the same time. But I mean, we enjoy it, and I feel like most of the people that come in enjoy it because then they're like, oh, well, who's that? Who's this? And they kind of learn that we're kind of all together and stuff like that. I mean, there's times too where you need times where you're just by yourself and stuff like that. But I think that's probably one of the coolest things is always just kind of coming in and hanging out. You're gonna hang out with the boys there, and everybody's gonna have a good night. And somebody's gonna get the love. It's always gonna get passed over. So that's a lot of a lot of cool stuff.
And that's kind of, I guess, what we kind of, other thing, learning from other people, why we kind of wanted to have guests on the podcast like this is get another perspective, see what they're doing, and learn from them, as all of us also do content creation. So
Right.
it's just nice to get always other perspectives and point of views and thoughts that maybe you didn't get or have before. So
Right. Well, and like you said too, I mean, just in general with like podcasts, like that's, I always wanted to be able to like you were talking about, I guess, future goals for streaming. I want to get to some nights where, and I think we've had it some nights kind of, but we were still kind of playing games, but like we're just chatting or something like that, where you're, you know, you got enough people in there where you can just kind of, hey, tonight we're just gonna kick it, talk about whatever you want, like a podcast. You know what I mean? And that'd be fun to do too. So that's one of my future goals, for maybe like once a week, or not necessarily having a podcast, but kind of having maybe an hour or two of just kind of, hey, what's going on? What's you know, just straight, just chatting and stuff like this, kind of one-on-one or stuff like that.
Yeah,
fair enough.
just chatting is definitely a good time, because you can go on some real wild tangents and just go down like rabbit holes and just
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about just the most random things, because it's the internet. People have been on this
Right.
thing looking up all sorts of stuff, so you never know what someone knows about, and it's just fun to get on some random topics sometimes.
Especially because you don't know who's gonna be in there and stuff too, or gonna pop in, and anything could ever happen. I mean, anything can happen any night. So that's always a big thing. You just got to keep grinding and doing stuff. But it's very enjoyable to kind of go down that rabbit hole sometimes and see, like, and some people see a different side from you, and you see a different side from your community too, where you know, you kind of get more into their life, they get more into your life, and it makes it more interactive.
I think that's a very good reason. Like, thing I like about streaming too is no two nights are the same. Which anything can happen any night, as you mentioned, and I love that. That one night you could have someone some brand new people come in. You could get a troll. You could get someone some dude with a thick wallet come in and throw you some subs. You can, you can have nights where there's no one there. You never know, and that's sometimes the best part is that you're not the same thing happening every single night. It's not getting repetitive. It kind of motivates you to keep doing it.
Yeah, talking about people with fat wallet and stuff. That's one thing, like T said, like, you don't want to come in and see somebody say they're boring and stuff. Sometimes I'll say I'm a bad streamer because people like gift subs will do it. I'm like, don't do that. You don't have to do that. Like, I mean, it's nice to have, you know, I don't do it for the money. So when somebody does that, I mean, obviously they're not just doing it to do it. I mean, they're enjoying themselves, and I get it's a platform for entertainment, but I'm always like, man, I'm a bad streamer, because I'm like, I don't want anything. Stop it. And like, the more you tell people to stop it, then the more they give you, and then it's just like, you don't know what to say. Like, I don't, you know, you're grateful. I'm always so grateful, but it's just like, stop doing that.
You don't have to do this. I swear. I swear
okay.
You don't need to do that.
And it's every time. It don't matter if it's 1 or like 50. You know what I mean? It still hits the same way. You're just kind of like, this. But I mean, people do it because they're enjoying what they see and stuff. So I mean, that was another thing getting used to. You know, there's some people that came in and they donate. They make some kind of crazy donation. You're like, why are you doing that? It's like,
that I don't think ever gets easier. Even just someone gifting one sub, like I've gotten used to having more people and getting a bigger raid, and I can used to it now. It's the people gifting subs, gifting money. Yeah, that never gets easier.
Yeah,
you're just like, hold on, what is happening?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're getting paid. People are paying you or donating to you to play video games,
and then there's some
weird.
people that are the opposite, and that's, you know, that's all they go after, and that's fine, because they're trying to, you know, there's double-sided coin, or I mean, two sides of each coin, I guess, because some people, it's their job, or that's what they you know what I mean, that's what they're making a living for. I mean, they're gonna keep trying to plug themselves and ask for stuff and whatever, and people provide it. I mean, me, I'm the opposite way. Like I said, I do it as a hobby, and anybody that does it, like Moss says, it always puts me in shock and gets you feeling a little giddy, and you know, and it's just always a nice feeling, you know. So I mean, there's no wrong, you know what I mean, for people that kind of ask for it, and then other people that kind of sit back and are just kind of always in shock. So I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, all streamers are different, and everybody has a different avenue of what they're trying to do. So,
well, anything else, or is this a good spot to wrap it up here? And
Bing bong.
all right, well,
there he goes.
I guess I guess that's kind of it. I want to say thank you to CJF08. Anyone that's in here that didn't catch it before, CJF and then the numbers 08. That's pretty much his username on most platforms. A very little variations here and there, but I'm assuming if you search CJF08, you'll be able to find him. It's a cute looking bald guy. But I'm gonna do one last more plug for Streamers merch. All of us in here are on there. We have our merch on there. So if you like anything you heard today from any of us or want to check it out, we all stream on Twitch. We all got our merch on Streamers merch, and yeah, as well as the podcast has the merch on there as well. So feel free to check it out. Streamersmerch.com. That is streamers with an S at the end. Streamersmerch.com. Feel free to check it out. And yeah, until next time.
Streamersmerch.com.
Until next time.
Peace out. Thank you guys.
Everyone do it. Everyone do it.
I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
There.